gosh, this group has came out with some brilliant records back in the 2000s, and this was a nostalgic tour de force for me, remembering quite vividly the year 1985, though not necessarily living in 1985 like the song's protagonists. Bowling for Soup, 1985 at number 11, up 2 notches from number 13 on my fantasy playlist. Already mentioned Bowling for Soup before when I talked about Avril Lavigne's Happy Ending, which is at number 12. The album from whence this song came from, it was called Hangover You Don't Deserve. This sounds so typical of Bowling for Soup. Produced by Butch Walker. Also worked on their first album. He also worked with Avril Lavigne on her second album and co-produced her big hit Happy Ending on my fantasy playlist. And now we got 1985, a song that Butch Walker, formerly of Marvelous 3, also produced. The song 1985 is basically about a middle-aged woman in her 40s who hates modern pop culture. And she thinks the 1980s, mid-1980s pop culture was a lot better. And that happens from generation after generation. It's just something about when you turn 23 or 24, you just lose interest in what's modern and you just look back to your past. It's like somebody who grew up in the 60s who hates 80s music, and somebody who grew up in the 70s who hates second millennium music and just rather listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Or somebody who grew up in the 50s and 60s who hates 70s music. You see, that's my point, how this thing keeps going around and around. But still, going back to this song, 1985. Now, here's the thing about 1985. It was not written by Bowling for Soup. The song was originally done by a group called SR-71. Mitch Allen, the lead singer of SR-71, he provides background vocals on this record. He also appears on the video. The video is really cool. I like their muff up of Robert Palmer's "Addicted to Love" when they imitate the this "Addicted to Love" video in this song, in this video that Bowling for Soup is doing. I gotta read a few lyrics. The lyrics are just absolutely awesome. Check this out. Debbie just hit the wall. She never had it all. One Prozac a day, a husband's a CPA. Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24. Only been with one man. What happened to her plan? So if things are not going well in the present, let's live in the past, right? Oh, this is the brilliant part. One of the brilliant parts. She was going to be an actress. She was going to be a star. She was going to shake her ass on the hood of Whitesnake's car. Her yellow SUV is now the enemy. Look at her average life, and nothing has been all right. She's seen all the classics. She knows every line. Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink. Even St. Elmo's Fire. She rocked out to Wham! Not a Limp Bizkit fan. That was a brilliant line right there. Note the rhythm. Thought she'd get a hand on a member of Duran Duran. Wears the miniskirt made of snake skin. Oh boy, do I remember those days, back in the hair metal days. And who's the other guy that's singing in Van Halen? Probably a reference to Sammy Hagar as opposed to David Lee Roth. When did reality become TV? Oh boy, I remember those days pre-reality TV. Whatever happened to sitcoms, game shows on the radio? Was Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. Man, I tell you, I just... brilliant record by Busted. Some of their other records, I've already mentioned one when I talked about that Avril Lavigne song, "Girl, All the Bad Guys." One, I believe, was one of their records back in 2002. I wrote it down, but I might have got the name of that song wrong. And they were from Texas, by the way. They formed back in 1994. High School Never Ends. That had a lot of truth on that record. For some people, high school doesn't end. Almost was another record that they did. Ohio was another brilliant record that Bowling for Soup did in 1985 at number 11 on my fantasy playlist.